This was the first manga book that I ever bought. Brotherhood was not out, and it was not about to be out for a couple more years. I was in New York and I've never seen a Barnes & Noble before, so I walked in. At that point, Full Metal Alchemist was my favorite series already, and that was before Brotherhood. But when I read this, I was incredibly surprised. Full Metal Alchemist had a completely different story in these books than it had in the series, and I was super interested in how did that happen and why. So in one sitting that day where I was supposed to be in vacation, I read like 3 or 4 books of this, and I was so happy and so excited. I didn't buy it that day. I came back to my home country and I decided that it was like time to get my first set. So the first ever set of manga books that I ever had was the full 27 books plus novel, the cardboard with a couple of like Velcro things, that box. The memories alone that Full Metal Alchemist bring me is an insane amount of memories. Having all those memories attached to every single piece of paper that I have here in my bookshelf is the most important part of that collection. I remember when I bought every single one of them, what state of mind I was in. I actually remember like most of the prices at the time. That it is quite crazy. And right now, manga works as a timeline of my life, basically.
And manga takes many forms. I feel like manga is not longer about the format. I feel like I like to read manga when I'm in the middle of the night, in low light. I feel like I like to read when I'm traveling. I like to read when I'm away from home in general, even if I'm at the gym. And I feel like sometimes I acquire books that are only in the online store. Sometimes books are cheaper in the online store. Sometimes I feel like having physical copies of things that I already know how they are going to develop is a little bit redundant unless I love the story. It's not anymore about the collection in the physical world. It's more about tracking my feelings and my state of mind through my collection. And my collection expands digitally and physically at the same time. This ever-growing collection quickly became a part of our lives. With the years, we started adding our personality to our bookshelf, showing a little bit about ourselves. Now you can see our memories, now you can see our travels, now you can see all of our shared activities. Now we can see this bookshelf and realize how much time has passed. And every time someone comes home, we can always explain a little bit of that bookshelf to someone, because there's always something that is gonna catch their attention, and there's always people asking like, hey, what is this? Or where did you get that? The most amazing part of this is that this bookshelf, either in physical or in digital, is always gonna keep growing and it's always gonna continue evolving. Of course, this also comes with problems, right? If my collection is outgrowing my memory, then it's no longer serving a purpose. I want my collection to be a vault of photographs that I can always grab and imagine how life was at that moment. Even if it comes with bad memories, even if it comes with good memories, whatever comes with it, I want to be able to remember that. At this point, some of the volumes haven't even been read. There is also the impulse buys when you finally found a book that you've been looking for years, but it was out of print. There are series that are no longer in the bookshelf because I didn't like certain aspects of it. And sometimes it's difficult to track how much have I spent, how much there is in digital, how much there is in physical, how much have I collected within the last year, and all those kinds of things. So a lot of things come into consideration when keeping a collection with meaning. After a while, I built a tracker for my book collection. I started taking the names, the books that I owned, the author, and all these kinds of things, and I started putting it in a spreadsheet. And I remember that I found amazing the fact that you could automate so many things about it. Suddenly I could automate the entirety of my system, and I could make some cells to go green when the entire set was complete. But yeah, after a while I wanted more control and a little bit more like fun. So I moved to Obsidian, and Obsidian opened a world of possibilities because now we're dealing with plugins and very nice user interface. And after a while I started using CSS to make it more beautiful. Right now I feel like my book tracker is a very beautiful way to keep my data. I don't want to give it to other people to try to convince me that I want to read something. I want my collection to be as mine as possible. And right now all I have to do is like every time I buy a book, I just log it and everything updates by itself, and I'm the happiest person alive. I also wanted to control the way I buy books, because sometimes whenever a good amount of money comes in, then you just want to spend it all, and it really doesn't make sense if some of the sets are not complete and you just want to keep buying first volumes of a series, so I can see which one is the next one closest to completing a series, and I have suggestions of which ones can I buy and which ones are smarter to buy right now. I can see where I am exactly in every single series. I can even put my own budgets so I don't go overboard. And at the end of the day, I have my shelf with me everywhere I go. And I can know, even if I'm in another country, what am I missing, what should I buy next, and what shouldn't I buy next. And now I'm happy because I'm reading and I can easily remember when I left off or when I paused a series for some reason, maybe because I caught up or maybe because I was a little bit bored by it. Finding the rest of the books from that series are still incredibly annoying. Why are they out of print? Come on. Tracking all of this makes me very comfortable, but it's nice to know that my timeline is always changing and that my taste is always changing. Because at the end of the day, books are not the only thing going into the shelf.